Hey YouTube, it is EvanMagician34, and this is the return of the Edge, Pokemon Edition. And in the Edge, we'll be talking about a card where we won't build a whole deck around it, but rather we'll be talking about the possibilities of a specific card that can have a lot of really cool tech possibilities. And one card really grabbed my attention, and I've been dying to talk about it, and that card is Venomoth. This is the recently released Phantom Forces Venomoth. It's got 90 HP, it's a stage 1, it's got 1 energy retreat, fire weakness, and its claim to fame is its dizzying wind attack, where during your opponent's next turn, anytime they play a trainer card, they have to flip a coin, and if tails, it completely fails, although they still discard it. Obviously, otherwise that wouldn't be very meaningful at all. Now, this just says trainer card, and that's every single class of trainer card. That means supporters, stadiums, and items. Everything is affected by it. Meaning your opponent has to make some really difficult decisions and can lose on some critical things, like suppose they miss the coin toss on their supporter. They're just out their supporter play for the turn, and they lose the supporter card itself. Not to mention it can be a way to lose key combo components and whatnot. Things their deck runs on. It's pretty devastating, and not only that, but it makes it harder for them to maintain their stadium card in play, considering if they try to overwrite your stadium, there's a coin toss chance they'll fail. So a pretty potent attack if you can fire it off every turn. Now, it doesn't deal any damage, so that makes it kind of challenging to build around, and made me wonder just how we could take advantage of that. Venomoth does have one other attack that's a grass and 2 colorless for 50 damage, and they're just poisoned and confused, which is pretty nice, forces switches and whatnot. And against a lot of opponents, especially if they've been under the effect of your dizzying wind, that could be a little bit harder to get out around. So it's an interesting Pokemon. Made me think about what we could play with it. Well, one of the first things I thought was, this could be a good opportunity to use Red Card, to flush your opponent's hand and force them down to a small hand of 4 cards, where they would really, really need that supporter to come through, or something like that, and they'd be very limited on their trainers, and their Pokemon and their energy would need a lot of support, which Venomoth's Dizzying Wind would really help shut down. So I thought this could be a really fun way to capitalize on that, and buy yourself a lot of turns to do something in your deck. And as far as keeping Venomoth somewhat frail 90 HP alive, there is Training Center, which can turn it into a 120 HP Pokemon, and with Hard Charm you could make it a 140 HP Pokemon essentially, if they want a one-hit KO it anyway. So that was a cool thought, and even if it does get knocked out, it's not a really big deal, because it's only worth 1 prize obviously, and it's very easy to set up, and you only have to commit 1 energy to him. And it can also mean that you can run very well with N. They take some early prizes from you anyway, and you can end as a sort of a pseudo red card in a way to mess with your opponent. And I thought that was pretty cool. Those are some options for exploiting Venomoth. And Venomoth also reminds me of Seismitoad EX in a lot of ways, his Quaking Punch. And these guys could be great partners in crime. You could just basically run them in tandem and just have the most annoying deck in the world, where you could you do all kinds of things. I mean, in many ways, this guy's a better version just because he deals damage, but he doesn't shut off supporters and he doesn't shut off stadiums. So Venomoth can do some things that Seismitoad can't. So it's an interesting notion. And I thought, well, you know, we could also run hammers to deprive them of the energy, which makes the Pokemon not matter, and then they really, really need their trainer support. So these could be cool ways to play off of Venomoth and just lock your opponent out, more or less. And Hypnotoxic Laser could be a way of dealing damage, essentially, without having to attack. And a lot of the ways people get around status these days is still tied to trainer cards. So, I mean, Venomoth could, with the right support, be, albeit a very slow deck, a very successful and at least a very frustrating deck. It's a really cool idea, and I'm dying to see someone build something around it. I did a little research and looking around, and I haven't seen anyone who's built a deck around this. So if you do know anybody who has built around this, or you've built around it and you've posted it, leave a link down in the comment section below, and I would really be interested to see what you've got. And heck, if you've just got an idea, build it, post it online, share it with the world. Because this is going in where angels fear to tread, because it is territory that, as far as I can tell, no one's bothered to blaze just yet. So that's my tech card for the week, is Venomoth, and I will see you next Tuesday with a new tech card. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool Pokemon content.